So why is it that retransmissions take place? In this module, we'll look at reasons for delivery failure and at what to do to remedy such problems. The first and perhaps most common cause are network issues. Network-level routers are so busy receiving and routing all sorts of IP packets, not just SIP, that sometimes they get overloaded and just can't cope. If a SIP packet gets delayed at a busy router, its timer will expire and the request will be retransmitted. Meanwhile, the congestion could sort itself out and the original request sent on its way, causing the request to appear twice in the SIP log. Actually, we'll also have this behavior even without congestion if the two parties are far apart and the round trip time is more than that of the timer. It could be that a router's buffer is full and the SIP packet is simply dropped. Again, when the timer expires, the request is retransmitted. The remedy to network issues? Well, we could do nothing. We could hope the congestion is cleared before the next request is sent. Or if things are serious, we could arrange access to a faster, less congested network, perhaps a rented SIP trunk or something. Another cause for delivery problems can be firewall blocking. If a firewall doesn't trust an incoming request, it will be blocked. The upstream timer will of course fire and the request will be resent, only to be blocked again. No matter how many times the request is sent, the firewall will continue to block and it won't get through. The remedy is to open the SIP ports on the firewall or configure the firewall to allow SIP packets generally. Some problems could be down to user error. If the user dials a non-existent address and there's no SIP device to receive the request and respond, the request will be retransmitted. The remedy, of course, is to ensure the correct address is dialed. Now, in real-life networks, it's more likely that a midway SIP server will return an error response, explaining that the dialed number couldn't be found. Finally, problems could be due to badly configured user agents. If the user agent is configured to think it sits on 192.168.0.22, when it actually sits on 192.168.0.23, the outgoing request will tell the downstream user agent to send the response to the wrong address. Accordingly, the response is sent, but doesn't arrive as planned. Check that the user agents are configured with the correct settings. Now, many user agents these days pick up their IP addresses automatically. Okay, reasons for delivery failure and retransmissions. The most common cause is a congested network. Unless it's really serious, don't worry about it. The next request will probably get through. If it's an ongoing problem, you could consider arranging access to a faster, less congested network. If firewalls are blocking incoming requests, then reconfigure them. Either open port 5060, the default SIP port, or set them to trust SIP generally. Finally, if SIP user agents are incorrectly configured, both requests and responses could be misrouted, causing the timer to expire and the request to be resent. It's always worth checking the user agent configuration.